The sleek diplomatic vessel Earthrise glided into the docking bay of the Galactic Hegemony's central station. Dr. Ji-Woo Park adjusted her uniform collar nervously as she prepared to become humanity's first official representative to the Alliance that had ruled known space for thousands of years. "Remember the protocols," Captain Tae-ho Kim whispered beside her. "Their culture has rules we must follow carefully." Dr. Park nodded. 6 months of training had prepared her for this moment. Earth's formal introduction to the galactic community after 3 years of limited contact. The hegemony had been cold but tolerant of humanity's first steps into space, offering small trade deals, while clearly seeing humans as primitive beings barely worth notice. The delegation walked through the massive hallways of the station, led by tall beings with shiny skin who called themselves the Grand Council's escorts. The humans stared in wonder at the amazing building, structures that seemed to defy gravity, and materials that changed between solid and liquid states. Dr. Park carefully presented Earth's gifts and ideas for working together. The hegemony representatives, ACICE, mix of different alien species unified by their obvious disdain, accepted with little interest. The trouble happened during the tour of the science wing. Dr. Park, fascinated by a display of strange cells, reached toward a glowing sample to point out something similar to Earth research. Fascinating how these structures, the alarm was instant and deafening. The nearest guard, a huge reptile-like creature, moved with shocking speed. Before Captain Kim could even shout a warning, the guard's weapon fired a blast of energy that hit Dr. Park directly in the chest. She fell without a sound, her body dropping to the shiny floor. The humans stood frozen in horror, while the hegemony representatives simply watched, their alien faces showing no emotion. The sample was marked "forbidden to lower species," the lead representative stated, flatly. The punishment was clearly shown by the yellow markers. Captain Kim knelt beside Dr. Park's lifeless body, his hands shaking. "There were no warnings we could understand." "Your failure to understand our rules is not our problem," the representative responded. "This is unfortunate but necessary. Lower species must learn respect or face death. Your group may return to Earth with this lesson." 2 weeks later, the video of Dr. Park's killing played before the United Earth Council. When it ended, the room remained silent for a full minute. Finally, Admiral Junho Lee stood up. "They've mistaken our peaceful approach for weakness. They've killed one of our best." He looked around the room. "I believe our answer should be clear." The message sent to the hegemony that evening was short. "A human life has value beyond what you understand. Consider this your only warning." The hegemony's answer came quickly. Primitives have no right to give warnings. What the aliens didn't know was that Earth had been preparing for this possibility. Deep in the asteroid belt, hidden shipyards had been building advanced warships for years. While the diplomats talked peace, military leaders planned for war. "They think we're weak," Admiral Lee told his commanders as they gathered in the secret base called Olympus. "They think we'll accept the death of Dr. Park as the natural order of things." Commander Hyun-Woo Kang, whose brother had disappeared on an early mission near Hegemony Space, nodded grimly. "What are our orders, sir?" "Make them understand that humanity is not to be underestimated," the Admiral said. "No civilian targets, no planets destroyed, not yet. Just a precise demonstration that we can hurt them if provoked." 3 days later, 12 Earthships, vessels the hegemony didn't know existed, slipped past the border sensors using technology the aliens thought impossible for primitives to develop. Their target, Narsilla, a hegemony military outpost near the border. On Earth, the public mourned Dr. Park while demanding justice. Her face appeared on news feeds worldwide. Her final moments, the casual way she was killed for a simple misunderstanding, fueled humanity's resolve. "We offered friendship," President Minji Ryu said in her address to the planet. "They responded with contempt and violence. We will not start a war, but we will demonstrate that humanity must be respected." In deep space, Commander Kang reviewed the mission plans one last time. His crew, handpicked from Earth's best, waited for his orders. "They killed Dr. Park because they see us as animals," he told them. "They expect us to cower and accept our place. Instead, we will show them exactly what humans do when threatened." "Lieutenant," Min Choi, tactical officer, displayed the targeting data. All systems ready, Commander. We can strike without warning, just as they did to Dr. Park. Kang shook his head. No, we're better than that. Send the warning first. The message broadcast to the Narcilla outpost was simple. You took a human life without just cause. Now face the consequences. The hegemony commander's response was predictable. Primitive species detected in restricted space. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Kang smiled grimly at his crew. They still don't understand who they're dealing with. Let's educate them. As the Earth ships decloaked and weapons systems came online, Kang thought of Dr. Park, a scientist who only wanted to build bridges between worlds. Her death would not be meaningless. It would be the moment that changed humanity's place in the galaxy forever. The first shots fired across the void carried a message that would soon echo throughout the stars. Humans were not primitives to be dismissed or killed without consequence. The hegemony was about to learn this lesson the hard way. Commander Hyunwoo Kang stood on the bridge of the ESS Retribution, watching as his crew prepared for battle. The ship was one of Earth's best-kept secrets. A vessel built with technology are the key. Hegemony thought humans were too primitive to possess. Status report, Kang said, his voice calm despite the gravity of their mission. Lieutenant Min Choi looked up from her console. All systems ready, Commander. Stealth drives working perfectly. The hegemony has no idea we're here. Kang nodded. 6 years ago, his brother had disappeared on a research mission in what they now knew was hegemony space. The pain of that loss still burned within him, now joined by anger over Dr. Park's senseless execution. What the hegemony doesn't understand about humans, Kang told his crew, is that we prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. The truth was that Earth had been building its defenses since the first alien signals were detected decades ago. While the public celebrated the wonder of not being alone in the universe, military leaders quietly developed weapons that could protect humanity if first contact went badly. Admiral Jun-Ho Lee had overseen this secret program from its beginning. We show the aliens our scientists and diplomats, he often said, but we keep our warriors hidden until needed. That time had now come. Deep within asteroid bases and underground facilities on Mars, Earth had constructed 15 advanced warships. Their hulls contained metals the hegemony had never encountered. Their engines left no energy signature that alien sensors could detect. Their weapons had been designed specifically to counter hegemony defenses. The hegemony believes they know everything about us, Admiral Lee told the fleet commanders during their final briefing. They've studied our public ships, scanned our colonies, and decided we're harmless. That mistake will cost them dearly. The plan was not total war, not yet. Instead, Earth would strike one important hegemony outpost to show what humans could do if provoked further. On the Retribution, engineer Gina Bay checked the ship's special weapons. Quantum disruptors ready, she reported. The hegemony's shields have never faced anything like these. Kang remembered the training simulations. Earth scientists had studied every piece of alien technology they could access. They found weaknesses the overconfident hegemony never thought to protect. Their biggest flaw isn't technological, Lieutenant Choi said as she reviewed tactical plans. It's their belief that age equals superiority. They think because their civilization is thousands of years old, they must be better than us in every way. That's why they killed Dr. Park without hesitation, Kang replied. To them, she was just an animal that needed to be disciplined. As the Earth fleet moved silently toward Narcilla, the human colony worlds prepared their defenses. If the hegemony responded with full force, civilians would need protection. On Earth, factories switched to war production. Ships that had been disguised as cargo vessels revealed hidden weapon systems. The planet that the hegemony thought was practically defenseless had teeth, sharp ones. President Minji Ryu addressed the United Nations from a secure bunker. For years, we've hidden our true strength while trying to establish peaceful relations with the galactic community. We hoped for acceptance but prepared for rejection. Now, after the murder of Dr. Park, we must show the hegemony that humans will not be treated as lesser beings. The public was shocked to learn about the secret military buildup. but most supported the response. Dr. Park's death had united Earth in a way nothing else could have. On the Retribution, Commander Kang studied the Narsilla defense grid. 26. Orbital platforms protected the hegemony outpost, each armed with weapons that could destroy a normal Earth ship with one hit. But the Retribution was not a normal ship. "Deploy the cyber team," Kang ordered. Chief Do-hyun Park, no relation to the slain doctor but equally motivated to avenge her, led the special unit. Using advanced AI systems, they attacked the hegemony's network with viruses designed to exploit weaknesses in alien code. "They never imagined we could understand their technology," Do-hyun explained as his team worked. "Their security is built to stop enemies they respect, not primitives like us." Within hours, the team had control of all 26 defense platforms. Kang addressed his crew before the attack began. "Today we show the hegemony that humanity will not be dismissed. We won't kill civilians. We won't destroy their world. We'll simply prove that we can hurt them if they hurt us." Lieutenant Choi looked up from her station. "Target locks confirmed on all military facilities. Civilian areas will remain untouched." "Begin the attack," Kang ordered. The Retribution and its sister ships decloaked in perfect formation above Narsilla. The defense platforms, now under Earth control, remained silent as human vessels fired their first shots, precise beams that disabled hegemony warships before they could launch. On the planet below, hegemony military leaders were thrown into confusion. Their sensors hadn't detected the Earth fleet until it was too late. Their communications were jammed. Their orbital defenses had turned against them. "Send the message," Commander Kang ordered, when the primary targets were neutralized. The broadcast went to every hegemony world. "You killed one human and thought there would be no consequences. Now you see a fraction of our strength. Harm another. Human, and next time we won't show restraint. Your worlds will burn." As the Earth fleet prepared to return home, Kang knew the real war was just beginning. The hegemony would not accept this humiliation. They would respond with everything they had. But humanity was ready. The hidden arsenal had been revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The hegemony world of Narsilla gleamed in the darkness of space, its rings of defense platforms forming a protective barrier that had never been breached. For 300 years, this important military outpost had stood as a symbol of the hegemony's power in this sector of space. Today, that would change. 3 Earth ships drifted silently in the shadow of Narsilla's largest moon. They had arrived 3 days earlier, their advanced stealth systems making them invisible to the hegemony's sensors. Now they waited for the signal to begin. "All teams in position," Lieutenant Sumin Choi reported to Commander Kang on the bridge of the Retribution. Kang nodded. "Begin Operation Whisper." On his command, small pods detached from each Earth ship. Inside these pods were Earth's best computer specialists, led by Chief Do-hyun Park. Their mission, to hack into the hegemony's defense network without being detected. "The hegemony thinks their systems are unbreakable," Do-hyun told his team as they approached the first defense platform. "But they created those systems, never imagining that primitives like us could understand them." The pods attached to the outer hull of several defense platforms. Using tools that looked like simple maintenance equipment, the teams created small openings in the alien technology. Through these openings, they inserted specialized devices that began to infiltrate the hegemony's network. "Their biggest weakness is pride," Do-hyun explained as they worked. "They never updated their security because they believed no lesser species could possibly understand their advanced code. It took 14 hours of careful work, but finally Do-hyun sent the message Kang had been waiting for. "We have control of all 26 platforms." On the Retribution, Kang addressed his crew. "Today we show the hegemony that humanity will not be dismissed. Remember, we target military installations only, no civilian casualties." Director Min-ju Yoon, leader of the ground team, prepared her soldiers for the next phase. "We have another mission besides destruction," she reminded them. "We're here to free the prisoners." The hegemony used Narsilla as a detention center for political prisoners from various worlds. Beings who had spoken against the hegemony's rule were brought here and forgotten. Earth's intelligence had discovered this fact, and rescuing these prisoners would show the galaxy that humans fought not just for themselves, but for all who suffered under the hegemony's cruelty. "Begin the attack," Kang ordered. In an instant, all 26 defense platforms shut down simultaneously. Before the hegemony could respond, the 3 Earth ships decloaked and fired precisely targeted weapons at military installations across the planet's surface. The hegemony forces on Narsilla were thrown into chaos. Their communications were jammed. Their automated defense systems failed to activate. Their commanders could not understand how primitive humans had bypassed their superior technology. While the space battle raged, Director Yoon's team landed near the main prison compound. Using advanced suits that enhanced their strength and speed, they quickly overwhelmed the guards. "We're not here to hurt you," Yoon told the startled prisoners as her team broke open their cells. "We're here to offer you freedom." The prisoners, over 200 beings from 30 different species, could hardly believe what was happening. Many had been held for decades, punished for questioning the hegemony's authority. "Why would humans risk themselves for us?" asked one elderly prisoner, a former scientist who had discovered corruption in the hegemony's research division. "Because the hegemony must learn that life has value," Yoon replied. "All life, not just their own." In orbit, the battle was going exactly as planned. The Earthship's weapons, designed specifically to penetrate hegemony shields, disabled the alien vessels without destroying them completely. "They're retreating," Lieutenant Choi reported as the remaining hegemony ships fled the system. So them go," Kang ordered. "We want survivors to tell the story." 6 hours after it began, the attack was complete. The military installations on Narsilla had been destroyed. The prison was empty, its former occupants now safely aboard Earth vessels. Not a single civilian structure had been damaged. Before departing, Commander Kang broadcast a message across all hegemony channels. The hegemony killed one human diplomat and thought there would be no consequences. Today, you see what happens. When you underestimate humanity, we could have destroyed this entire world. Instead, we chose to show restraint. This was mercy. The next world that harms a human will burn. We are not primitives to be dismissed. We are your equals, and you will treat us as such. As the Earth fleet prepared to return home with the freed prisoners, news of the attack spread rapidly through the galaxy. On worlds long dominated by the hegemony, people began to whisper about the humans who had done what no one thought possible. In the hegemony's central command, Grand Admiral Zalex received the reports with cold fury. "These primitives dare to attack us. They will pay for this insult. Prepare the 4th Fleet, 300 warships. We will crush these humans and turn their homeworld into an example for all who defy us." What the Grand Admiral didn't understand was that the attack on Narsilla had been just the beginning. Earth had revealed only a fraction of its true strength, and the hegemony was about to learn a painful lesson about underestimating humanity. As the retribution jumped to faster than light speed, Commander Kang looked at the image of Dr. Park he kept on his personal screen. "The first step is done," he said quietly. "They'll never again think they can kill one of us without consequence." The hegemony 4th Fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Tau Ceti system. 300 warships, the largest battle group ever assembled for an operation against a lesser species. Their mission was simple: destroy the human colony and send a message that would echo across the galaxy. "Primitive defenses detected," reported the sensor officer on the hegemony flagship. "Minimal opposition. Victory is assured, Grand Admiral." Grand Admiral Zalex nodded with satisfaction. "Begin the attack pattern. Show no mercy. These humans must learn their place in the natural order." But as the massive fleet moved deeper into the system, something unexpected appeared on their sensors. 40 human ships arranged in a formation that made no sense to hegemony tactical computers. "Impossible," Zalex muttered. "Our intelligence indicated they had only primitive defense capabilities." On the Earth flagship Retribution, Commander Hyunwoo Kang watched as the hegemony fleet approached. Everything was going according to plan. The Tau Ceti colony had been quietly evacuated days before, its people safely hidden on the far side of the system's gas giant. Now it would serve as bait for the trap. They've taken the bait, Kang observed. All ships, implement Hydra protocol. Lieutenant. Sumin Choi sent the coded signal, and the Earth fleet shifted into an even stranger formation. To hegemony observers, it looked like complete madness, ships deliberately moving out of optimal firing positions, creating gaps in their defense line. They don't understand our tactics, Choi said with a small smile. They're battle computers. Can't make sense of what we're doing. That's our advantage, Kang replied. They fight like machines following perfect logic. We fight like humans. The battle began with a massive volley from the hegemony ships. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked across space toward the seemingly vulnerable Earth vessels. But, at the last possible moment, the human ships moved in ways the hegemony hadn't predicted, making their carefully calculated shots miss by narrow margins. How are they anticipating our targeting? Demanded Zalex, as reports of misses flooded in. Unknown, Grand Admiral, his tactical officer replied. Their movements follow no logical pattern our computers can identify. What the hegemony didn't understand was that Earth ships were using a combination of advanced AI and human unpredictability. The baseline tactics were coordinated by neural networks, but the critical decisions were made by human commanders who could think in ways no algorithm could predict. The Earth fleet suddenly split into smaller groups, each attacking from different angles. Ships that appeared damaged would suddenly reveal hidden weapons. Vessels that seemed to retreat would abruptly turn and strike at exposed flanks. They're using our size against us, Lieutenant Choi explained to Kang as they watched the battle unfold. The hegemony fleet is too large to adapt quickly. Hour after hour, the battle raged across the Tau Ceti system. The hegemony's numerical advantage meant nothing against humans who fought with both scientific precision and creative improvisation. Earth ships would sacrifice advantageous positions to create opportunities for allies. Defense systems would deliberately fail to draw enemies into carefully crafted traps. One Earth vessel, heavily damaged, flew directly into the heart of a hegemony battle group. Just as the alien ships moved to finish it off, the human ship's reactor went critical, not by accident, but by choice. The explosion disabled 7 hegemony warships. They sacrificed themselves, Grand Admiral Zalex said in disbelief. No rational species would do that. By the 12th hour of battle, the mighty Fourth Fleet was in disarray. Over half their ships had been destroyed or disabled, while Earth had lost only 11 vessels, each crew sacrificing themselves in carefully planned moves that led to greater hegemony losses. We can't defeat them with conventional tactics, Zalex finally admitted. Order a retreat. We must regroup and develop a new strategy. As the remaining hegemony ships prepared to flee, Commander Kang gave one final order. Show them the Prometheus. Deep in the outer reaches of the system, a special Earth ship activated its primary weapon. The target, an uninhabited star system. Nearby, as the hegemony fleet watched, the weapon fired a concentrated beam of exotic particles into the star's core. The effect was immediate and terrifying. The star began to collapse, its natural fusion process disrupted. Within minutes, it flared brilliantly before dimming significantly. A process that should have taken millions of years happened in moments. Send the message, Kang ordered. The transmission reached every retreating hegemony vessel. You have witnessed only a fraction of our capability. This weapon, the Prometheus device, can be deployed against any star in the galaxy. We do not wish to use it. We never wanted this conflict. But know this, if you threaten Earth or any human colony again, your worlds will burn. Not just your military bases, not just your fleets, your entire civilization. As the defeated hegemony ships fled back to their territory, news of their crushing defeat spread through subspace channels. On 27 worlds long controlled by the hegemony, oppressed species who had suffered for generations began to whisper about resistance. In the aftermath of the battle, Commander Kang stood on the observation deck of the Retribution, looking out at the stars. Do you think they've learned their lesson? Lieutenant Choi asked as she joined him. They've learned we're dangerous, Kang replied. Now we need to show them we can also be merciful. That's the harder lesson. As Earth prepared for the hegemony's response, one thing had become clear to the galaxy. Humans were not primitives to be conquered or dismissed. They were a force that could change the balance of power forever. The Grand Council of the Hegemony met in their sacred chamber on the homeworld. For 800 years, this room had witnessed the rise of their power across the stars. Never before had they faced a threat like humanity. "We must negotiate," First Speaker Telex urged, his normally steady voice now filled with worry. "These humans have technology we didn't expect. They could have destroyed Narcilla, but chose precision instead." Supreme Commander Vox slammed his fist on the ancient table. "Negotiate with primitives impossible. It would show weakness to our subject worlds. Already there are whispers of rebellion. We must crush the humans completely, use our full military might." The debate continued for days. Unknown to the Council, Commander Kang's intelligence team had already infiltrated their supposedly impenetrable security. Hidden devices recorded every word, transmitted every secret plan back to Earth. When Earth detected a massive fleet being assembled for a final strike against the Sol system, they knew the diplomatic approach had failed. "One last mission," Admiral Jun-Ho Lee told Commander Kang. "Show them what we could do and then show them what we choose not to do." The Retribution and 5 other advanced Earth ships emerged from quantum transit directly above the Hegemony homeworld. They bypassed all defense systems using data gathered from their infiltration. Before the Hegemony could respond, precise strikes disabled their orbital platforms and government communication centers. Commander Kang and Director Minju Yoon led a small team directly into the Grand Council chamber. The leaders of the galaxy's most powerful empire found themselves facing humans who had every reason to destroy them. "How did you get past our defenses?" demanded Supreme Commander Vox, his voice shaking with rage and fear. "The same way we defeated your fleet at Tau Ceti," Kang replied calmly. "You underestimated us. You thought age equals superiority. You never considered that a younger species might see solutions you've overlooked." Director Yoon stepped forward. "You killed one of us and expected submission. Instead, we showed you that humanity will not be treated as insignificant." She activated a hologram showing the Prometheus device positioned near the Hegemony's sun. "We have the power to reduce your homeworld to ash, just as you planned to do to Earth," Kang continued. "But unlike you, we recognize that true strength lies not in destruction but in restraint." The council chamber remained silent as the humans presented their terms. Independence for any species that wanted it, payment for years of exploitation, and a new galactic agreement based on respect rather than control. "This is outrageous," Supreme Commander Vox shouted. "We will never accept—" His words were cut short as the chamber shook. Outside, a precisely targeted Earth weapon had destroyed an uninhabited moon in the Hegemony system. A final demonstration of what could happen to their homeworld. "This is not a negotiation," Commander Kang said quietly. "This is the new reality. The old hegemony is over. Either adapt or face extinction." In the days that followed, the galaxy changed forever. The news spread across subspace channels. The mighty hegemony had been forced to accept human terms. Subject worlds that had suffered for centuries declared their independence. New alliances formed between species that had once been enemies under hegemony rule. Earth became the center of a new coalition, not an empire but a federation of equals united by shared principles. Representatives from 53 formerly oppressed species arrived on Earth to join this new alliance. "We don't want subjects," President Minji Ryu told the assembled delegates. "We want partners. The hegemony ruled through fear. We will build through cooperation." 1 year after Dr. Jiwoo Park's death, Commander Kang and Director Yoon stood before a memorial on the former hegemony capital. The simple stone monument bore a message in multiple languages. "In memory of Dr. Jiwoo Park of Earth, whose life taught the galaxy that every being has value. May we never forget this lesson." Kang placed his hand on the cool stone. "I wonder what she would think of all this." "She was a scientist who wanted to build bridges between worlds," Yoon replied. "I think she'd be proud that her death led to a better galaxy, not just endless war." As they turned to leave, they noticed a group of young hegemony children being guided by their teacher toward the memorial. The teacher spoke softly about the importance of respecting all life. regardless of its origin. That, Kang said with a small smile, is the true victory. On Earth, humanity continued to develop new technologies and explore deeper into space. But now they did so alongside other species, sharing knowledge rather than hoarding it as the hegemony had done. The former Supreme Commander Vox, now stripped of power, watched from his home as a mixed group of human and alien scientists worked together in what had once been a military base. "How did they defeat us so completely?" he asked a former council member who visited him. "They didn't just have better weapons," the old alien replied. "They had something we lost long ago, the ability to see value in others. We thought our age made us superior, but it only made us arrogant." As new ships bearing the symbol of the Galactic Federation launched from worlds across the galaxy, the message humanity had sent echoed among the stars. Strength without wisdom leads to destruction, but strength with compassion creates something greater than the sum of its parts. The death of one human had changed the fate of 1,000 worlds, not because humans had burned the galaxy in revenge, but because they had chosen a better path when given the chance.